सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणी विद्यारंभं करिष्यामि सिद्धे भवतु मे सदा वसुदेवं सुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं हरि ओम कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं. Yes, so can someone recollect what is it that we saw last? Yes, please, anything. We can form the link and then quickly move ahead. Yes, please. Yes, anybody? Can you recollect what we saw last? Oh, yes, I forgot. Everybody, I request who can turn on the video feeds, please turn on the video feeds. If you do not turn on the video feeds, I can't do anything. Today is the last day I'll be asking. Yes. Yes, please. Can someone recollect what is it that we saw last? Anybody? We form the link and we can move ahead.
Yes, Priya.
Yes,
Yes,
please.
okay.
Yes, please.
Yesterday we saw determination in the quality of determination in
Dhruti.
that is Dhriti in sattvic form. A
Ah,
person is sattvic, person is rajasic and tamasic. How it varies.
G.
Then the second point was the pleasures, the quality of pleasure in sattvic, rajas, and tamasic.
G.
And today we are going to hear from Krishna how we are going to use this swabhava of ours to attain the siddhi, the perfection.
Yes. And Krishna described about the Chaturvarna, isn't it?
Chaturvarna, yes.
So, which is higher, which is lower in the Chaturvarnas?
It is not higher and lower. What I understood
G.
is that it should be a combination of all.
All
And
four are required,
uh,
and Krishna never classified one to be higher or lower. Yes, yes.
the
All
one
right.
who is serving the society, which yesterday I got this thought that the person who serves the society, we talk of doctors next to God. We say
Yeah.
doctors next to God. So they have the quality of the Brahmin, they have the quality of the um, Kshatriyas also, the Vaishyas also, and the Shudras.
Okay. Yes,
So
yes.
until and unless we have all these qualities within us, we cannot serve the society.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yes, that is why the Chaturvarna system was there. It is something which is very special. And Renuji has talked about doctors. Yes, in Ayurveda, there is a famous quote, Oshadhi Janavi Toyam Vaidyo Narayano Hari. Just like how the medicine is like Ma Ganga, like that, the Vaidya is no less than the Narayana himself. When he knows the medicine, when he knows how to treat, when he knows how to cure. And that way, yes, there is no higher purpose than service to the world, and there is no work which cannot be channeled to the divine as a offering of service to the world. It is so easy to serve the divine in any way. Can we can we cook for the divine? Can we offer our work of cooking to the divine? Yes. We can offer our words of communication to somebody also as an offering to the divine. What we looked at as Vak Tapa. What is the Tapa of the speech? Instead of creating more divide, use your speech to increase harmonies. What happens when harmonies are established? Their manifestation of the divine consciousness takes place. Where there is hate, their divine is not there. We should not allow hatred to spread. So, in our works, in our actions, in our thoughts, so everything. Same way, there is no work which can be considered as a lower work or a higher work, but all works can be channeled for sadhana. And then everywhere we've heard yoga, karmasu kaushalam, perfection in work is spirituality. That is what my Guruji also says. I think Sri Aurobindo also talked about perfection. But then many feel perfection is an ideal which can never be reached. So why try reaching it? I was asked one question, what is this? Is perfection a myth? In a nice forum of youngsters. because we don't like this perfection. It is imposed upon us. Don't impose it. What is your idea of perfection? Is it even possible, or it's just a myth that people use on somebody else? I replied that for me, perfection is my mother's aloo parathas. And he started laughing and said, "What do you mean by that?" I said, "No, it is perfect every time she's made. I have been eating in a most, what we can say, like a glutton, not even appreciating how wonderfully it is made. But my appreciation or my criticism did not make any difference in the outcome. It has always been the same. It has been going on. Isn't this what Gita talks about? Isn't this Naishkarmya Siddhi also? Because every time, how do you get the same color, same taste, same flavor? And for me, it is always Ananda to taste it. Well, this is something, this Naishkarmya Siddhi, it happens naturally. It is not something which is suddenly going to happen overnight. It will be realized. But before that, we must recognize our Swabhava, because we have been given a Swabhava, a birth nature. We will have to use that birth nature to further our, maybe transcend. Because I think everybody first, when they connect with the divine, they connect through their nature only. All the prayers that are made first, does everybody make Nishkam Prarthana first without any desire? Can we all say we have all made some prayer to the divine with some sort of desire? We say unconditional love, but yes, to the our connection with the divine has always first been with conditions only, isn't it? But as we go closer, we reach to that point where now I don't. It's like Krishna Arpanam or Tera Tujhko Arpan Kya Lage Mera. I don't care. Whatever. Twadiyam Vastu Govindam Tubhyam Eva Samarpaye. So then slowly it moves towards what we call from Sakam to Nishkam. Like that, our ordinary karmas also, how do they become Siddha karmas? What is Siddha? Siddha is accomplishment. Siddhi. Siddhi is, we have heard of Sakala Siddhis. We have seen Hanuman having, he was a master of all Siddhis, isn't it? And then he got the curse that he could forget all of it. He would forget all of it. And he did forget it. And how did he again regain them? It was not by another Ushrap, just that, okay, now undo that curse. No. He had to find another route, and the simplest route was he attained control over his Indriyas. He became the Jitendra. Jitendriyam Buddhimatam Varishtam. And as he understood that when I master myself, I master the world, the Siddhis again returned to him, because that was the important aspect. That one aspect he had not learned, though he had got the Siddhis, and that is why this was necessary. Something like that. We cannot keep living in a world of imperfection, keep doing wrong actions. We will have to transcend. But the question of how to transcend is there, and that is what Krishna is going to be looking at. Let us see. We had just a moment. We had stopped at Shloka. One second. It was 44. Yeah. All right. 44 and 45th one. We saw that. Swe swe karmanya bhiratah sansiddhim labhate naraha. Swakarma niratah siddhim yatha vindati tat shrinu. Krishna says, Shrinu, listen. A man who in his works of nature perseveres, his skills mature towards perfection. As mature as towards perfection he nears. How perfection is achieved, I shall now say. Listen to me, I shall reveal the way. Yeah, we saw this. Let us continue. यतः प्रवृत्तिर्भूतानां येन सर्वमिदं ततं सर्वकर्मणा तमभ्यर्च्य siddhim vindati manava. The creator of all living beings in the creation, the supernal one who brought forth every manifestation, by worshipping him through one's own works with devotion, a man can verily attain the zenith of perfection. This is interesting. The one who is the creator, to the supreme, to the divine, we first re-establish the presence of the divine in our consciousness, become conscious that yes, there is a higher force, there is a higher purpose, and then remember and offer. That is all what Krishna is saying. Offer it to the divine and just watch how your works become perfect. With devotion, do your work and do it as an offering. I think just recently we saw our India's Olympic medalist dedicating her medal to Krishna's teachings of the Gita. Many people got triggered. What did Krishna fire the arrow? What is it? She has done all her efforts. Now, what about other people? Was Krishna not capable? All keeping that aside, the bhava, the approach, the what happens when you offer to the divine? Your pressure is no more yours. Probably you're passing on to the divine only. You bear that pressure, have an extra you have so many extra heads, take extra headache from me also. Sahasra Shirasha Purusha, it is said, isn't it? So pass on that trouble, worry, everything, just offer to the divine. Let your action be perfect. And this is something we must have all experienced. I gave the example of mother's aloo paratha, but I think everybody, as a child, you all remember something, some food made by the mother at your home, some dish which is always very perfect. How is it possible? Or is the Janmashtami laddus are tastier? Why is it? Because it is offered to the divine. It is as simple as that. What do you offer? You offer only the best, isn't it? And how do you offer? You offer with love. Love is not with riders. No, it is not a clause. It is not terms and conditions apply. That is not there in love. It is always unconditional, pure love. So channel it, do something with love. It will slowly become perfect. That is something. Let us continue. And I have also noticed if I have to make for my teacher, Damleji, if I have to make some food, I'd make it very nicely. But if I'm eating it for myself, the same food doesn't turn out nice. Because ठीक है, थोड़ा सा, it's all right. Your little bit tamas enters inside by nature only. Probably my swabhava. For myself, I'm not able to. But when I'm giving it to someone else, or especially to somebody who is like guru, and their best only has to come, isn't it? Because that is the thing. So why not offer every action? This is possible. This is even possible in your corporate world. People say it's not possible. No, in corporate world also offer your works to Krishna. Watch the magic. What happens? A participant from Atlanta had shared his experience. A very senior HR manager. He felt Krishna will not be happy if I let this work go. It has come onto my table. And so he did his best for Krishna. And you know what happened? Lokasangraha, his company got a project in COVID time. It was so difficult, but everybody initially made fun of him or said, why are you wasting your weekend? This is the time with family. You don't have to do it. CEO came and told him, you don't require to do it because we don't have this particular requirement which the client wants is not there in our company. He said, no, let me see if I can outsource that part alone. Remaining, we can do it. And somehow, within a period of 3-4 days, he arranged something which led to the betterment of the entire organization. Himself, of course, but for everybody. And why did he do it? Not for anything else except for Krishna, because he said, it's come to my table, it's my karma, it's come into my kshetra given by my kshetrajna. I will not let that go. I will not let that file gather dust. I will immediately act upon it. That is something. And Krishna has said, very simple thing. Work, work with love. What you enjoy, you start getting better also, isn't it? When you enjoy something. Learning, when it becomes enjoyable, there's a great ananda. Not only is there an ananda, that learning translates into understanding very quickly. Most of the time, if you don't enjoy it, it will take more time for you to understand. Realization is very far away. So this is something. Offer with devotion to the divine. Then comes the interesting part. The perfectionist is speaking. Krishna says, Shreyan swadharmo vigunaha paradharmat swanushthitat swabhava niyatam karma kurvannapnoti kilbisham. It is better to perform one's own work faultily than to, under a compulsion of law, perform perfectly. When one follows one's own inner nature, one incurs not any sin of any stature. So, for the first time, Krishna says faults are okay. We are human, isn't it? So, we will have faults. But you can't say, I am human only, so we are going to have faults. Now, in our apartment system, somebody was being very unjust against someone who was a widow. And that they were creating such an atmosphere that the person felt like going away. So I went and talked to the elderly person. I think as an elderly person, you have to also intervene. Only I speaking or few people speaking is not enough. Let 3-4 people. Immediately the person said, it is human nature. I will not, I'm interested in higher philosophy. I'm interested in spiritual work. How can we allow injustice to go on to somebody else? Because tomorrow, what is injustice? Injustice is that which is spreading and it will come to us only, isn't it? You allow something wrong just because it's not directly affecting you at this moment does not mean it will never affect you. So you have to understand, you have to immediately undertake on your swadharma, even if it's not perfect, even if it's not going to immediately result in something, you cannot lose that. And that's what Krishna is saying. Better to perform a work. Chalo, theek hai, I'm working in an organization is small organization, it doesn't matter. I'm following my swadharma only, isn't it? I'm following my Swadharma, let me go ahead. That is what Krishna is saying. Then to do it under a compulsion. When one follows inner nature, what happens? Your Swabhava, you are connected with the divine actually. Your divine consciousness is inside of us. So when you align with that consciousness, what papa, what will you worry about? Papa, don't have to worry, papa, punya, na punyam, na papam, na saukhyam, na dukkham, na mantro, na tirtham, na veda, na yaknyam, chidananda rupa, shivoham, that consciousness is going to work. Naturally you will start understanding what is the right thing to do. You will be able to move ahead. So use your swadharma is what Krishna is saying, because sometimes people forget their swadharma. It creates a lot of trouble and a lot of problems also. One participant, she shared her experience that she waited for 17 years to take a decision about her work. She always liked the service sector, but due to some compulsion or the other, she never entered into the service sector. She was getting a good job. The job was well paid. She had a good salary. She had a circle of colleagues. Everything was going well. But she said, I could not sleep properly at all. Every day was a troubled day for me. And she said, I don't know what happened. One day I took that decision immediately. She said, the pay was very less after that. And my own colleagues suddenly started looking down at me because now I am no more in their circle. But she said, I slept so peacefully. And she said, I felt so happy and I was wondering, why did I wait for 17 years? The Swadharma is calling and you're not listening. What can you do? It's all right. Don't just look on the outer aspect. Follow Swadharma. You'll watch how the divine connects. Arun Tiwari ji, professor, he is there who has written Wings of Fire. What was he doing? He was sitting and studying metallurgy in a DRDO lab. That time, Kalam sir came and spotted him reading metallurgy. And then he called him and said, deputed him for a particular project. And then that project one led to other, and then he became later on so close. He established Kalam sir as his guru, and because Guru gave Adesh, he developed a missile system. After missile system, another Adesh from Guru can now enter medicine, which is in the different kshetra. But again, power of Guru Adesh, he develops India's first coronary heart stent, the cheapest one also. And he calls it after his, along with a cardiologist, and he names it Kalam Raju stent. The other is the Dr. Soma Raju had made was the other scientist who developed it. And one second, I think Jayatiji, I'll just mute you. Jayatiji, can you mute? I'm just unable to mute from my phone. All right, maybe not. So fine. So this is the aspect of Swadharma. Recognize your Swadharma. Earlier also we have seen that shloka. Paradharmo bhayavaha. No greater danger than forgetting your Swadharma. Kshatriya cannot forget the Kshatriya's dharma. Brahman cannot forget the Brahman's dharma. Vaishya cannot forget Vaishya dharma. Shudra cannot forget that dharma. And if we recognize as spiritual beings, we want all four inside of us. What is the highest dharma that cannot be forgotten? Let us see. Continue. Sahajam karma kaunteya sadosham api न त्यजेत सर्वारंभ hi doshena dhumena agni rivavrita. The duty towards oneself, O Arjuna, one mustn't forsake. Without abandoning works, in the actions one must partake, even if defectively done. Or as all actions are cloaked with defect, just as the fire is masked by its own smoke's effect. Look at this beautiful metaphor Krishna has used. Brilliant fire. Fire is what? Fire is Agni. Rig Veda begins with Agni only. How is Agni? Agni is brilliant. But don't we see smoke around Agni many times? We say, Yatra Dhumaha Tatra Agnihi. Where there is smoke, there is fire. or conversely, yatra agni tatra dhuma, where there is fire, there is smoke also. What does the smoke do? It masks the radiance of the fire, isn't it? And where has the smoke originated from? From the fire only. Sometimes the smoke is so much in certain great fires that firefighters have trouble dousing it because they can't identify how great the flame is because the smoke is so much. Well, Krishna says that is exactly with us also. If you follow your Swabhav, understand. He says, don't abandon your duty. Duty towards whom? Towards your corporate organization, duty towards where? Anybody? Don't abandon your duty. Which duty is Krishna saying not to abandon? According to the contract that you have signed in work, is he talking about that duty?
Yourself.
All right, I think Karthik ji say yourself. Manisha ji, you were saying same thing?
To oneself. Yes.
Yes, yes, yes. That is the duty, and there is no term or contract or anything. No shart. It is like that. That duty we must never ever abandon. He says, even if defectively done, it's okay. Arey, you tried. That's enough. At least you tried. Sometimes that itself is sufficient, and who knows them. Sometimes a big. There was a very famous viral video where a tree had fallen down, and that was blocking so many vehicles, and there is an ambulance also. One young boy comes and tries to push the tree. I mean, what is that one boy, small boy, tree is so big, he's not able to make it move even an inch. But he said, I cannot simply sit like that. This is my duty. Let me try. At least let me try till my energy is exhausted. Then I will at least have tried. And you know what happens then? A lot of other people feel ashamed. The other elders also suddenly inside of them that Agni is awakened and they also come and join that little boy and then they push that tree aside. The ambulance can go on. What is that? Well, that is the duty towards oneself. That is something which we can never ever forget. Is what Krishna is saying. It's okay even if there are some faults. Don't be so harsh on yourself. Many times we become the worst of worst examiners of ourselves. That should not be done. It's all right. Recognize the mistake. Don't repeat it. That's all. It's okay, but don't ever let go of your swarma. It goes on further. Asakta buddhi sarvatra जितात्मा विगत स्पृहा नैष्कर्म सिद्धिं परमाम sannyasena Krishna says, when the soul is conquered with detachment, leaving no room for desire or any attachment, man transcends regular actions through renunciation, and every action is performed with impeccable perfection. So this is that Nitya Sannyasi who is performing his actions. He's not somebody who has taken tyaga of actions. He is a part of it. Only with detachment, he has conquered what? Yasakti. Again, in the Gita, so many places we have been told where there is asakti, there is disturbance. Where there is raga, there is dvesha, raja, guna. All these start functioning inside of a person. So you'll have to slowly remove the asakti or the what we can say inner fluctuations. So how can you do it? Again, the same magic word, detachment. English word sounds bad. Sanskrit word is very nice. We can say asakta or we can say mukta sangha. So many such words are there. Asanga, asakta, mukta sangha. All of these are all different qualities if you look at how detachment is really in essence. The rose without thorns. I think that is something we would also enjoy. Let us also experience that. Let there be no room for any other attachment. But what about love? If attachment should not be there, this is one question. Since it is the last time we'll be looking at it. Can we love somebody without attachment? That is my question.
Love with attachment is moha.
Wonderfully said. Renuji said, love with attachment is moha, isn't it? Yes, it is a barter. No, मैंने इतना किया तुम्हारे लिए तो तुमने I love you so much. You have to love me back. I am having a some kind of barometer for measuring how much intensity your love is. It should match mine. No, you cannot do all of this. This is not like a barter. So beautifully said, Renuji, that yes, it is moha. So without attachment, that is it. And without attachment, when you do anything, you automatically go into that higher consciousness. Asakti comes in. And then you will experience Naishkarmya Siddhi, is what Krishna is saying. Ordinary actions cease to remain ordinary actions. They become what we can say divine actions. Best example is our Krishna. Janma karma cha me divyam. He says, look at me, look at my birth, look at my karmas, they're all divine. If you just understand it, you will see, yes, this is divine only. And that gives us a great inspiration to be like him. And what happens when you know this divine works, divine karma? You are mukta. Moksha is yours, is what Krishna says, if you recognize the divinity of the divine and the divine actions as well. Let us continue. Krishna goes on. Siddhim prapto yatha brahma तथाप्नोति निबोध में समासे नैव कौन्तेय निष्ठा ज्ञानस्य या परा. How is it that the union with Brahma is gained? When is it that perfection is attained? O Arjuna, listen, listen, for I shall now explain the most supreme knowledge that man can gain. Highest realization, that is the Brahma Vidya. When you study the Upanishad or the Gita also, we say Gita is also called Upanishad. The Brahma Vidya, we are studying the Brahma Vidya from the Gita, and that is why the Gita is called an Upanishad. So he says, let me tell you how this Brahma Vidya is gained. It is gained by becoming one with the Supreme Brahman, and that is what Krishna is going to share to us. Buddhya Vishuddhaya Yukto Dhrutyatmanam Niyamya cha Shabdadin Vishayans Taktva Raga Dvesha Yudasya cha. By cleansing and purifying the inner self and holding a firm control over self, by renouncing all objects of senses and all objects of sounds and senses, bereft of anger and repulsive reflexes. Let us understand that if these reactions are taking place, just like how Renuji talked about it, attachment means moha. Like that, anger is there, impulsive reactions are there. Understand you have no more connected with the divine consciousness. A lower consciousness is functioning inside of you. Forget other people, look at yourself first. What are your words? How are they happening? How are you behaving? That is important. It is important to do this because that is how we can purify ourselves. And yogis are always doing this because they understand that I have reached this state, I will stay here. No, you'll fall down, you'll sometimes fall very hard if you are not conscious. So they understand it at all moments. We have to be conscious. It is not challenging. It is actually enjoyable when you start loving it, when you start experiencing the joy. And that is something we must recognize. Gold also needs to be purified, isn't it? Even though it's so beautiful, it's brilliant. Why is it purified? Well, there are impurities. And how is it purified? In fire. In fire, you have to purify the gold. Imagine if gold is having emotions, how will gold react every time you put it in fire? But that is why it's so precious. That is why it's so valuable. Just like that, Krishna says here, he says, by cleansing and purifying your inner self. And there's no limit to this. बुरा जो देखन मैं चला बुरा न मिलिया कोई जो दिल खोजा अपना मुझसा बुरा न कोई. Kabir Das says that. The great Sant Kabir Das is saying there is no person worse than me. I mean, why is he saying that? Is he having a bad case history, or has he done a lot of murders or a lot of dacoitry or nothing like that? He has understood, yes, this is the ahankar inside which is still not been removed. And ahankar is part of Prakriti. It will keep coming every time. You say, I don't have ahankar. Your ahankar is only telling you, I don't have ahankar. So keep that aside. Don't worry about whether you have or you don't have. Instead, be on the alert and watch in practical aspects. That's why Krishna is even giving Brahma Vidya in practical terms. Brahma Vidya is a kingdom beyond the practical. It is metaphysical. Yet Krishna is giving lakshanas, like Siddha Lakshana we have in Ayurveda. Like that Lakshana of Brahma Vidya is no impulsive reflexes all the time. Not getting trapped in attachments for objects which are pleasing to hear or to see or any other senses. He goes on further. Vivikta sevi lagvashi yata vakaya manasah dhyana yoga paro nityam vairagyam samupashritaha. Controlling mind, speech, body, and ignoring materialistic company. Eating moderately for maintaining an inner harmony. Seeking a union with the eternal through regular meditation, letting go of desires, getting absolute renunciation. This is what Krishna is saying. This person is Vairagi. Many people get afraid of this. What if I become Vairagi? I will stop. Who are you? Aham Brahmasmi. Security guard is asking you and you're responding, Aham Brahmasmi, is not allowing you inside. What is going to happen if you suddenly realize Vairagya? No, no, Vairagya is just getting free from the traps of detachment. Look at Shiva, the great, this is a great Gita. Mage Ubha Mangesh, Pudhe Ubha Mangesh. Mangesh is in front, Mangesh is behind. That time they describe Shiva as Janma Janmacha Ha Yogi, Sansari Ananda Bhogi. Viragi ki Manu Bhogi. Is this a person who is Viragi or is he a Bhogi? Because he's experiencing Ananda without getting trapped. And his birth after birth, Ananda is experienced without getting trapped in Moha, without getting trapped in attachment. That is the real Vairagya. You will experience real Vairagya. Real Vairagya will allow you to even, a simple act like eating an ice cream, you can enjoy Ananda while eating that ice cream if you have Vairagya. Vairagya. Little action. Krishna has told, isn't it? Yad ashnoshi, what you enjoy. You enjoy it also with the divine's presence. Enjoy your beloved's company. I'll bring Krishna in between. See how the party changes. Immediately it becomes a divine occasion. It becomes a celebration. This was what was experienced in Vrindavan. Unfortunately, we are not experiencing Vrindavan in our lives when it is very much it is within our reach. We don't have to run far away. We don't have to go for big retreats everywhere. When our own place, we can establish it. But for that, I think all great challenges require efforts, isn't it? That is why we have to do the efforts. And what are the efforts? Number one, controlling mind. What's on your mind? This is a very famous question on what we can say, social media platform. So we write down what is in our mind, or we write down whatever comes to us at that moment. It's like antenna, aaj signal ye laga. So this is what I have written. That necessarily may not be on your mind. And then what we do? We write something, somebody writes something to it, another, and it goes on. Sometimes people are discussing the future of the world. Or most of the time, people are discussing future of the world on a platform. And then when somebody says it's not such a bad place, the person who's doing a good work, that person is going, you don't know anything. You are doing nothing. I am doing so much. I know one person questioned the patriotism of someone who was a great, army person who has actually worked for the nation undercover also. But he was again in the discussion because these are all mental gymnastics happening. You don't have to get trapped in it. Maybe do your work, use it. We're not discarding anything. Use your platform if it is going to serve your higher purpose. But don't get trapped away. Same way in the mental impulses also. People get trapped in their mental thoughts. Some of them go mad also just running after their thoughts. So mind also, speech also, body also. I think mana, sharira, and vak sadhana is already mentioned, isn't it? It is called sattvic tapa when all three are done together. We were told by Krishna. So we have to do sattvic tapa. Means it is required. Control your mind, control your speech, control your thought, and your bodily action as well. Ignoring materialistic company. Now, what is the problem in that? The same reason why yogis try to seclude themselves. We don't need to leave our work because we have been given a different kshetra. We may not have to run away to a mountain or somewhere else into the deep cave, dark cave. But where we are, we can draw a kavach around us, isn't it? Sri Aurobindo called it vital draining. Anyway, I think sometimes you have a lot of enthusiasm and 5, 6 people come and it's like suddenly all your enthusiasm has been sucked. You can actually feel it. Ki, I was feeling so fresh. Now I talk to this person. I'm now feeling I have lost my enthusiasm. Anybody felt like that? Yes? Has anybody felt that? Loss of enthusiasm, something very nice. Innately, you're happy with something. It's something precious. And suddenly, when you talk about it, you share it somewhere, and suddenly it stops looking that precious also. Or suddenly you feel that energy level is down talking to someone. Anybody felt that?
Yes.
Yes, isn't it, Renuji? So, in those moments, if you see, you were also on a little emotional level, isn't it, when that draining took place? Renuji?
Yes, I was not feeling happy. I
Ah,
wanted to
and
do
yeah,
something.
and at that moment of sharing also, there is on your emotional being which is interacting a lot, no? So when
Yes, my
emotional
eyes
being is
was in
interacting,
contact with that person and I could perceive that
ah,
what I wanted to say or
yeah, yeah, yeah.
what it was
Yes,
not.
yes. That is what. That is. This is actually a very important spiritual principle. Actually, Sri Aurobindo calls it vital draining, and we need to form a resistance to it. And how will you form resistance to it? By establishing your inner sadhana. As in many times when people do, mantra upasana, or they do some tantric procedure also, they create a kavach, they create a line, they create a boundary. It's called digbandha. Yeah, somebody wants to say something. I'm unable to mute anybody on the. Okay, whoever is talking, you can unmute. I mean, you can mute and continue. If you want to talk to me, you unmute. Yeah. So this digbandha is something which is important. Something like that in our lives when we walk around. You don't have to carry supari only every time you go, keep around you, or something, carry it around you. No, but internally you can do it, isn't it? Internally you ensure that no, I'll not drain my consciousness this way. That is something. Eating moderately, everything must be eaten in right quantity only. There's a discipline, and that is something. Then maintaining an inner harmony, seeking a union with the divine with dhyana. Krishna has given us two techniques of dhyana. Come on, he's not given it just like that. He has given it so that we start raising our consciousness. It is a technique which is time tested, which is practiced, which has been realized. So this is something which Krishna is talking about. All of these will help you experience vairagya. Example of a vairagi who was in the in the sansara and doing all sansaric activities is Raja Janaka. He was a king, isn't it? It is possible to be in that highest state of consciousness also. In the flux of activities, Krishna is saying, do it. This is what will help you get that highest state. Krishna goes on. Ahankaram balam darpam kamam krodham परिग्रहं विमुच्य निर्ममः शांतो brahma bhuyaya kalpate. Discarding egoism, anger and arrogance, desire, possessiveness and violence, of all feelings of proprietorship. When one is free to become the Brahman one is fit to be, when you are completely free from all feelings of ownership, then you are free. Then you are free to realize the higher truth. Then you are fit to even experience and access the Brahmic consciousness. Ahankar is gone, anger is gone, arrogance is gone, desire has disappeared. No, no sakam prarthanas. Prarthanas also have become complete nishkam prarthanas. I'm not asking something in return, just offering. It's all right. I don't like what's happening, but hey, Krishna, I'm just doing your stuti. May your will be done. Whatever is your will, I accept it. It's not like what I like, but still I'm ready. So again, something desirelessness and getting over the possessiveness and violence also. Violence of thought, violence of action, all are violence. Violence of speech also is. It is harshness of speech is also a violence only, isn't it? We call it verbal abuse. Why do we call that? Because again, words also are a very important vehicle of transferring consciousness, and they can cause harm also. It's not required. When you are free from all feelings of proprietorship, you are fit to be that Brahman. Can you say you own your child? Can you own your beloved? Can you own anybody? No, you cannot. Each person is that person, individual. It can be your own person. You can call him your own person, but you can't really own that individual. Or even objects, you start getting attached because when this comes in, no, I, that becomes the biggest problem. Ahankar enters in this way or that way. Sometimes you get some. Even in siddhis, we talked about siddhis. Some people get certain siddhi. Some people get vacha siddhi. Some people get mantra siddhi. Some get some, what we can say, drishtanta. They get some visions, and then they start feeling, I am this, I have reached this consciousness. Again, that is an attachment, isn't it? Yeah, I have got this, I have understood all of this. I remember once I was very excited. I went to Damleji and I was like, I can write poetry now. I can get it. I can get it from there. He said, band kar dunga. Which source? From the source, it's like as if tap is going to be closed. Dekhta hu kaise, how will you write? How will you write one more line if I turn off that source? And I was like, right. I think this is the Ankar coming in. Sorry, went behind because this is important. This is important. or proprietorship. Nothing is yours. Nothing is yours. When you realize that everything belongs to the divine, you have also understood the essence of Brahma Vidya. Pick up any Upanishad. Opening of Isha Upanishad is also this only. Isha vasyamidam sarvam yat kincha jagatyam jagat. Arey, but if everything is divine, where will we enjoy? No, this is how you will enjoy it. When you're not owning everything, what happens? Naturally, what comes to you is a prasad directly from the divine. Experience that presence, prasada. There is a great bhoga of enjoying it, and the best part is no riders with it. Means you are going to eat food but not get the excess calories for those who are weight conscious. That is the biggest problem. So this is the greatest siddhi we can say. Take it and not have the karma bandhanas. Yes, Renuji is adding something.
Yes, we are just the custodian of it.
You're beautiful. That is even better. Means if you are the custodian, your friend has given you his car or his bike or her vehicle. What will you do? Yeah, koi baat nahi. Let me drive as rashly as possible. No, you become more careful. You know, no, I don't want one scratch also. You tell all those around, no, this is not ours. No, careful, don't touch it. Well, that is the power we should have with all, even the best objects, even in the best. Sometimes best people come into our life. It is a blessing only, no, for us. What do we do then? We experience it and understand that everything is, we cannot control how long anything is going to be there. Who knows when is our last moment? Who knows when is another person's last moment? That is the nature of our bhuloka, which is always transient. So become conscious, no, experience every moment, take the full rasa of it. It's like you've opened a coconut, tender coconut, drink the full inner content. Why just take a sip and then throw it away? Experience the rasa of every moment. That's what Krishna wants. But for that, you'll have to experience what is this? What we can say, asakti, one withdrawal is required. Because only when you're outside, you can get the better perspective. You can see clearly. Krishna goes on, he says, Brahma bhutah prasannatma na shochati na kankshati sama sarveshu bhuteshu mad bhaktim labhate param. That's what, where is the Gita chapter complete without bhakti? So again, Brahma knowledge also, Krishna adds bhakti element to it, makes it simpler also. When one becomes a Brahman, means he has become Brahman, got that consciousness, he has existed. When one becomes a Brahman of the liberated self, by engaging in purification of oneself, neither grieving nor desiring, and perceiving all to equal be, with a love supreme and devotion, those souls verily attain me. Krishna is saying, when one realizes that, then that love flows, and for everyone, the oneness is there. And Krishna says, these souls, they attain me, they become one. He goes on further. Bhaktya mama vijanati yavan yaschasmi tatvatah यावान यश्चास्मि तत्वतः ततो माम तत्वतो ज्ञात्वा विशते तदनंतरम. He who by devotion evolves to know me and about all my vast existences that can be, my reality and principle, he truly understands. Uniting with my consciousness, supreme he stands. Krishna says, when you evolve, when you begin to love the divine, you begin to know the divine, you can understand my supreme existence and all the existences. Tukaram Maharaj said, I went to see God. I don't know when I became one. Means it's like I went in search of God, and I got that realization on the inside. And he's so overwhelmed. It is not ahankar that he's saying, it is a sakshatkar. This is a different aham. This is not the small aham of an individual. This is the aham of the aham brahmasmi, which the great Vedantic rishis had got. So ham asmi. What is that? I am that. Which is that I? It's not that I, it's so small one. It is something which is sarva vyapi, the extremely omniscient and omnipresent one. Let us go on. Krishna goes on. Sarva karman yapi sada kurvano mada madavya pashrayah mad prasada davapnoti shashwatam padam avyayam. And when in me he is situated firmly, all his actions he performs verily. By my grace, he attains the eternal. thus uniting with the Creator supernal. We always underestimate the power of grace, but it is very, very powerful. Arjuna felt because of his ahankar, he is doing everything that in front of Krishna, he was saying, what will happen? See, nothing is going to happen unless I do it. He was thinking his strength is more than the divines. And then he got the Vishwarupa Darshana, and then he says, Shashwatam Purusho Matome, you are that Purusha, you are that Sanatan. You will ensure that what is Sanatan will remain Sanatan. I have to become the instrument of yours. Nothing more, nothing less. That itself is the biggest realization because that is where the grace works. And when grace works, miracles happen. Mukam karoti vachalam panghum langhayate girim yat kripatamaham vande paramananda madhava. The dumb who cannot speak properly also suddenly start speaking. I think that's Krupa for me by Madhusudan Damleji or another name of Krishna. I was able to take classes because of him. Otherwise, I don't think it was even capable of anything. But it is grace. Grace is there in life. We have to become what we can say adhikaris. We have to receive it. And that is something Krishna is saying that by Krishna's grace, what's going to happen? Everything can happen. The highest pada, the highest state can be reached, is what Krishna is saying. He will attain the supreme most status and become one with the eternal. So, can we force Krishna, Krishna, you must give me that grace? I'm going to do 20 mala japa every day. You should be grateful and then give me. It's not like that, no. With our actions, as we become what we say, Atma Shuddhi, Atma Shuddhi, Atma Bodh, all of this is very important as we go ahead on the path. The Kshetra, we have been planted in the Kshetra by the divine. First, you realize the divine has planted you where you are in. Many times you say, no, I don't like this place. I would like to be in some hill station. That is where I would like to be. I don't like the temperature in this place. No, nothing is like that. You're not going to run away from the battlefield. Krishna does not want another Arjuna running away from another battle. He wanted that Arjuna only to take part in the battle. Why are we thinking of running away? Face it, but face it with the presence of the divine and watch the miracles that unfold. Jako rakhe saya mar sake na koi. With the consciousness of the divine, the mouse can become the lion. Suddenly, the strength will come, the knowledge will come. Krishna is there to give. Dadami buddhi yogam is what he has said. So that also, everything. Let us continue. Krishna goes on. चेतसि सर्वकर्माणि मयि सन्न्यस्य मत्परः बुद्धयोग बुद्धियोगमुपाश्रित्य मच्चित्तः सततं भव. Krishna is telling surrender. By surrendering completely to me, when all the actions and thoughts can devoted be through yoga, when one incessantly strives, uniting the heart and mind, in my shelter he arrives. Such a person, he says, enters into my shelter. Surrender to the divine. Let thoughts, let actions be devoted. Strive. Keep keep attempting to reach that. Surrender is a perfect surrender, and it's not something that's going to happen in a moment. It is said surrender is also a lifelong process. To understand surrender, to understand its true meaning, it requires a lot of sadhana also. I surrendered to God, a lot of people say, and then they go and eat pakodes immediately next moment. I was not eating, God was eating. No, it's not like that. It is our surrender must be understood fully. What is its true meaning? Next, yad ahankara mashritya na yotsya iti manyase. I'm sorry, I missed the 58th shloka. Yeah. Mat cheta sarva durgani mat prasada tarishyasi atha chetvam ahankaranna shrosyasi vinangshasi. When the mind and the heart become one, united with me, all your battles are won. At the times of peril, the safe passage I assuage. Only if self-ego still prevails, one falls into hell's cage. Only if ahankar remains, you are inviting hell and misery into your life. He says, let your mind and heart be one. This is the battle we have to fight. The fight between the mind and the heart. This is a battle, which is a very important one. This we don't realize. We go fighting other outer battles. without realizing they are all originating because of the inner battle which has not been won. You win one, start another starts elsewhere. It cannot ever stop unless you realize this. And this is the battle. Imagine Krishna telling this in the battlefield to Arjuna. He has enemies waiting to kill him, and even at that time, he says, before you take them on, complete the battle inside first. Mind and heart, they have to become one. Let the mind and the heart think the same thing. What is in the mind should be in the heart, and what is in the heart should be on the tongue. Let all three not walk in three directions. That becomes a problem then. Ahankar is there, Krishna is saying, then you will suffer in the moment. Now comes the interesting shloka, which will make us laugh. Yad ahankaram ashritya na yotsya iti manyase mithyaisha vyavasayaste prakritistvam niyokshati. It is because it is because you are taking refuge in your ego. This battle you are seeking to forego. I will not fight, you vainly say, but your inner nature will make you spar anyway. Krishna is saying, because ahankar, you are having ahankar, Arjuna, you are saying, I will not fight. But you are a Kshatriya. I know you from inside. Your ahankar only is going to first tell you this, that it is all not, it's pointless. But what will happen if in front of him somebody who is near and dear is hurt and injured? Immediately the Kshatriya will awaken, isn't it? Right now the fire is very low. The fire of the Kshatriya has gone down. But he says, no, your inner nature will make you spark. But what will happen then? Maybe it will be too late, isn't it? So, but this is very interesting. If Krishna had already told us, Arjuna, you are a Kshatriya, even if you say how long will you not? How long will you not stay? How long will you stay non-aligned? You will immediately enter into the battle because you are in your heart. You know you are a true person. You are a seeker of truth. So you will get up. Right? It's like how the mother says, you do it, or you'll be forced to do it. This is the way of Prakriti, isn't it? Even sadhana is like that. You do sadhana now, or you will get some big sharp punches, some uppercut or a punch in solar plexus from life only. Then people will go into sadhana. Means they wait to get a shock. कि, अरे ओ, ये क्या हुआ? What is this? Now I don't know. हे भगवान, अब तुम ही हो. ना मेरा कोई है तेरे सिवा. तू ही है. You are only now my friend. I mean, why do we have to experience? Is it necessary to experience a shock to go on the right path? Is my question. Not at all. You don't have to be forced to it because when you're forced, it's a little troublesome, isn't it? We talk about everything. We like what is natural. So why are we not following our natural urge to seek the divine? That is what we have to understand. And here Krishna is saying, Arjuna, I know you know this is all drama. Abhi bol rahe ho. Just watch 5 minutes later. I mean, if Krishna knew this, 18 chapters he still gave, huh? Because he wanted to pass on. Maybe he knew that there will be so many Arjunas waiting to listen, or we are also going to be listening and using it so many thousand years later. That is what we call foresight, no? Durdrishti. That is the drishti of a higher consciousness, which can see beyond myopic things also. Let us see. Swabhavajena kaunteya nibaddha svena karmana kartum nechasi yan mohat karishyasya vashopi tat. As Renuji said, the word moha has come here. It is out of moha that you are saying you will not fight. He says, because of delusion, you do not desire. To fight this battle, you seem to not aspire. Oh Arjuna, in it you will ultimately have to partake. If not on your own, you will be forced for your nature's sake. Ishvaraha sarvabhutanam riddhesh riddhesherjuna tishtati brahmayan sarvabhutani yantrarudhani mayaya. This is what Krishna is telling. This is Maya of the Srishti. You will be forced if you don't do it. That is something we must become conscious. Let's not get forced. Let us freely, with our own free will, walk on the right path, not under some compulsion and some other karmic flux and karmic bandhana. The Lord that is seated within every living heart, who Arjuna, he stirs and initiates everything start. Like machines, all creatures are made to obey and act as per the will of his Maya's way. Maya is also divine only. Maya is also not simply some illusion which God has no control over or something like that. That is also been created for a higher purpose. First, let us identify how to get free from Maya rather than trying to go into the purpose of Maya first. How all of us get trapped, and then we are all like robots, moving around, moving around. One way we are not realizing it, isn't it? All of us are going through the same thing. Every day morning we get up, then again we say we have to charge our phones. But we also need everyday charging, isn't it? Otherwise, we cannot function. We are going through childhood, we are also going through youth, we are also going through old age, then there is death, and there's a full cycle. We're all moving as if somebody has inserted this program. Scientists are trying to find, I will find a way to undo this program. They have not been successful yet. Because this is Prakriti, this is Maya, and everybody is made to obey as machines. If you see, not a leaf can move without the divine will in the universe. And this is the way of Maya, is what Krishna is saying. He is making everybody move. So you also do what is right, or you will be forced into a situation where you will have to take up a stand and do your work. You say, stitch in time saves nine, isn't it? At the right time, at the right place, do it now, you will save a greater burden later on. Otherwise, it will become sometimes critical. Then some people have to wait for another janma, some people have to wait for aneka janma to get that moment again. Krishna goes on, Tameva Sharanam Gacha Sarva Bhavena Bharata Tat Prasadat Param Shantim Sthanam Prapsyasi Shashvatam. Seek refuge in him in every way. O Arjuna, verily in every single way. For by his grace, the supreme peace you can attain and the eternal status you can gain. Krishna is saying you can get the highest status. Seek his refuge. Every way, every possible way that you understand, every possible way that connects and resonates with your Swadharma. You have an arrow, attack the kingdom of Brahma Vidya with an arrow. You have a sword, attack with the sword. If you have a mace, or use everything that you have and get that Brahmic knowledge, is what Krishna is saying. Seek, seek the divine. Upanishads also say the same thing. All the Upanishads, they try to attack and grab the concept of Brahma Vidya. Somebody through a story, somebody through a riddle, somebody through some metaphysical words, somebody through some mantras, different ways. So something like that. Seek the divine, Krishna is saying, every single way, because by his grace, the shanti that is eluding you, the peace, the inner quietude, that will be received, is what he's saying. And you will become one with the divine. You will attain the great status, like all those great bhaktas have attained. Tukaram's name is taken before the name of Vittala. Jnanoba Mauli, Tukaram. So they call Jnaneshwar and Tukaram's name even before, when they are going for the Varkari, entire name of the Bhakta has come before the divine. Whose grace is it? It is the divine's grace only. And then Krishna says, Iti Jnanamakhyatam Guhyat Guhyataram Maya Vimrushaitat Tasheshena Yathechasi Tatha Kuru. How beautiful is this? Krishna is told after speaking 18 chapters. We speak for 18 minutes to our friends. We say, अब तो सुनना ही पड़ेगा. You have to do. I have spoken. I have invested 18 minutes of my time in giving you advice. You better follow what I say. Otherwise, I'll stop talking to you, or I will badmouth you. I will scold you. I'll hit you. All those things come in. Here, Krishna is finishing 18 chapters, and he's ending it with this. He says, "Yathechasi tatha kuru." As you wish, you do. He's not saying you do it because I order you by divine command or by some adesh which I am giving you as an authority, I force you. No. He's saying, I have told you what. You asked me a question, I answered it. Now the next step is yours. He says, thus to you, O Arjuna, I have fully revealed the most secret knowledge I have unveiled. So now, by taking my cue, your mode of action, you are free to do. This is the beauty of Sanatan Dharma. You're not forced. Self-discipline is developed inside of a person, not by force, not by fear, not by threats. It is by becoming conscious. So our aim should be in becoming conscious. And Krishna says, you are free to choose. Now you want to run away, run as fast as you want. Or you want to take part in the battle, take part in the battle. I am not ordering you. Do what you want. Krishna has a list of plan B, plan C, plan D. So many Arjunas may be there. Krishna is not dependent on Arjuna is to. Let us see what he does. But when there is bhakti, when there is love, we get a bonus always. So like that, Krishna says Gita is over here, but I'll add something more. Sarva Guhya सर्वगुह्य तमं भूयः शृणु मे परमं वचः इष्टोऽसि मे दृढमिति ततो वक्ष्यामि ते हितम्. Yet another secret, hear from me, for I shall explain. As you are my devotee, I hold you main. You are to me most intimate and dearest. Hence I shall say to you what is best. मन्मना भव मद्भक्तो मद्याजी माम नमस्कुरु मामे वैश्यसि सत्यम te pratijane priyosi me. The same shloka was there earlier. We still have some more shlokas. So I would like to ask you if everybody has the time, we can conclude it today, or we could take it one more day.
One more day.
Yeah, okay. Fine. Then we'll just
One more day,
just
one
stop.
more day.
Okay, all right, sir. All right. Ji, fine, Ji. Okay, looking forward. Then we'll conclude tomorrow, and then we can actually look at what is the 19th adhyay also. That is something which is very interesting. So yes, this shloka, then we stop at this one. Man mana bhava madbhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru. Mame Vaishyasi Satyam Te Pratijane Priyosi Me. This particular shloka, has anybody come across in the Gita before? Anybody? Just
Chapter
think
9,
about it.
shloka number 34.
Yes, ji, yes, ji. Manisha ji?
Shloka number 34, chapter 9.
Chapter 9. Acha, means is it just the same or slightly different? So Manisha ji has told exact shloka number. Wonderful.
It's little
Yeah,
different.
it is
It's
different.
little
Can we look at the difference then? Why is Krishna, is he forgetting he already said it? Why is he repeating the same shloka? It's almost same. Almost 75% of it is the same. Means out of the 4 parts of that shloka, 3 are the exact same. Let us see. Chapter number 9, verse 34. It is the last shloka of the supreme knowledge, the secret of secrets. Again, here also Krishna is talking about secrets. And he says, because you're Bhakta, I'm going to give you some more, an additional secret. What is that? What is this? Raja Vidya chapter also is talking same thing, but you look at the difference here. Manmana bhava madbhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru mame vaishyasi yuktvaivam atmanam mat parayana. That is told in the 9th chapter. Sacrifice unto me, unite with me through your mind, myself supreme, you shall know, experience and find. Bowing to me and with me alone, when me alone you adore, then for the divine union, you shall open the door. When the first time Mam Namaskuru is being told, you are opening the door for the divine. You are bowing to the divine. This is the first time Krishna is telling to Arjuna directly, means Mam Namaskuru. Very clearly is saying that bow to the divine, it's good for you, not for him, not for the divine. It is for the person, and Arjuna is ready to receive it, so he tells him there. Now when the Gita is getting over, we're so much ahead into the Gita now. Here also it comes in, but it's a small subtle change. You see, words, if you look at it, the words are the same. Only one portion is different. But the Bhavartha is completely different, because here Arjuna has already seen Vishwarupa. He's already got the darshana. He's understood what is the bhakti yoga. He's understood so many things. And now this part, मन्मना भव मद्भक्तो मद्याजी माम नमस्कुरु मामे वैशसि सत्यम ते प्रतिजाने प्रियोसी मे. Merge into my consciousness, become my lover, become my sacrifice, be my adorer. Woe to me, and you shall come to me certainly. My dear one, this is my promise. I shall fulfill verily. What's the difference in bhava here and there? Here Krishna is saying, it is my promise. I will take you across. There he's saying, first, means what should we do? First, seek the divine. Call, make that call to the divine. Give that call. When you stretch the hand, only somebody can pull you out, isn't it? If you are sinking in water, huh? How will you have to stretch your hand outside. No, without that, how can somebody save? That is what Krishna is saying. Do the first part right. Second part, I will take care. He has told Yogakshemam Vahamyaham. I will take you across. So this is something. I think on this note, we'll probably stop today. The remaining part will conclude tomorrow. There's just one more shloka which is very interesting. It's the 66th shloka, which is suddenly going to, it sometimes confuses everybody. Sarva dharman parityaje. So far, he's asking swadharma. You stand up to your swadharma, and suddenly he says, forget all of these other dharmas. Means what? Is he saying, like in some books, no? Some religious books, they say whatever I said earlier was wrong. Now only what I say is correct. So now you follow what I'm saying. This only henceforth is correct. Forget everything. Is Krishna asking to forget everything what he has told, or is he saying something? That is a one important shloka. That is a very important one, the 66th one. Before that, I think this is where we can understand it. Wow, Krishna has actually said that yes. The second part is not our lookout. Make the call, let the divine transform everything. You open the door for the divine, he will enter, he'll enter into your life. After that, you don't have to worry. God has to worry. Divine work should be whose headache? Man's headache or God's headache? Our job is to be instruments. Let us be good instruments. Let the divine manifest his will through us. That should be our only lookout. That, yes, am I being good instrument? Am I allowing this vairagya to remain? Am I not getting trapped in moha? That is all. So I think we will stop here at shloka 65. Tomorrow we will conclude this chapter. So I'll get one more day to ask everyone to turn on the video feeds. Yes. So can someone summarize anything that you recollect from today, and we'll conclude with the Shanti mantra. Yes, please.
May I?
Yes, sir. Yes, Ji.
Yeah, today we started where Shri Krishna said, do your work with devotion and offering to divine. I mean, it is okay to perform your works with Swabhava and Swadharma, which may have some faults, rather than, doing something perfectly but unwillingly and not ready to improve. So even if you have some faults and you're willing to improve and doing it with your willingness, that is still better than, being forced to do something. So yeah, and for that, yeah, Sri Krishna gives the metaphor of Agni, where Agni itself is very brilliant, but it is also again masked by its own smoke. So similarly, there may be, you may find sometimes it difficult to identify what is the real truth, but still you should not, abandon your duty just because of some faults. Then yeah, the one who actually perfectly practices detachments and does a work and for that person, I mean the one who is actually doing all the works with detachments, for that the works tend to move towards perfection. He tends to transcend those fluctuations because he's kind of offering it back to divine also. So he moves closer to the consciousness of the divine, and he starts getting that perfection, because we were talking about how to get the perfection in our work. So that is what Sri Krishna was revealing with detachment and devotion to and devoting everything to the divine. That perfection can be attained. And there was also discussion about if one actually how to attain the Brahman. So for that, he said Shri Krishna, by cleansing and purifying yourself, which is kind of continuous process. Then letting go your desires, eating moderately, trying to unite with divine by practicing the meditation and yoga, and controlling your mind, speech, and thoughts. Yeah. Uh, yeah, so you have to also guard yourself against some bad companies, where we talked about conscious training. And then we have to let go our ego, anger, arrogance, desires. And we also have to understand that we are not the owner of everything. It is divine, and as Renija beautifully said, that we are more of a custodian, and we have to give that back to divine. So we have to take care and give it back to divine. So when all the divide and busyness, it all disappears, the person is actually ready to become one with Brahman. And even in that stage, even all the prayers, they are not being done for purpose of getting something out of it. They also become pure prayers, where they are pure offerings. So yeah, the such person is he or she is ready to attain me and ready to become one with Brahman. Then uh, there was also importance of bhakti, because bhakti has been, a very integral part of what Sri Krishna has said till now in Gita. And that complete surrender and bhakti, that actually helps you move closer to that realization, to move closer to that higher state. And your mind and heart need to become one, and that ahankar needs to disappear. So that inner battle with ahankar, that about that inner battle with your attachments, that needs to be won first, and then you can actually progress ahead. So there was a shloka where Sri Krishna also said that if you don't do the swadharma, or you are running away from duties, it is very much possible that you will be forced to do it. Not now,
Yeah.
maybe later, but and you may be, I mean, you may experience more difficulties, or I mean, sometimes you may get into a difficult situation because you did not do it when it was required, and then you have to do it maybe in a hard way. And that is that wheel of Maya, that whatever is that grand plan that has to happen, it will happen. You do it yourself by realizing it, or you will be forced to do it by making you realize via some experiences. So that is what Sri Krishna was saying. And that's why, and then he went ahead and said, you if you seek refuge in divine, and if if you seek that refuge in divine and actually surrender completely, you will experience that inner peace. And at the end of it, even after explaining everything for so many adhyas, he eventually says, now you do as you wish. I have explained to you what is the knowledge. So even here, he is not forcing Arjuna to do anything. He's like, I have told you everything. Now it's your decision. What you how you want to go ahead. So yeah, and he said, because you're my dearest devotee, I will also share that one more secret with you. And uh, uh, that if you seek to be one with me, and you take that effort and try to merge into my consciousness, I promise that I will take you across. That is where we stop.
Yeah, yes, Chaitanya. That promise is there of the divine. But if we want to just understand one important thing, yat he shasi tatha kuru, do as you wish. Do we say this to our loved ones? Yad aham ichchami tat kuru is what we say. Do what I want, not what you want, isn't it? Means when we do something, when we say something, we don't offer. When Krishna is offering such a big freedom to Arjuna, when at a point of dharma sankat also he is not forcing it, because now I'm revoking, emergency situation is imposed, henceforth you have no right to choose. No, it's not like that. Even in the most difficult situation, look at, if Arjuna ran away from this, what would happen? Such chaos, at least personally for Arjuna, maybe not for the grand plan. Divine plan will always be higher than any individual. A lot of people think that they are in charge, or they are manifesting divine will themselves. No, they are just instruments. Divine will is higher. But when divine is offering this freedom, do you think we have the right to curb anybody else's, especially our loved ones, in the name of our love, in the name of something or the other? That is what happens in so many places, and that is where a lot of people, especially youngsters, they run away from Sanatan Dharma thinking, oh no, this is what they're forcing me, they're forcing me to do this, they're forcing me to do that. Instead, you become the pillar. No, you are the living example of Sanatan Dharma. Why one, why two, hundreds of all your friends will all start getting into that sync. I have seen in Gujarat a group of youngsters, they are all hanging out together to discuss aspects of scripture in a free atmosphere, like they are hanging out in a what we can say, some kind of cafe. Advantage of having a dry state is this: higher conversations can take place. In other places, when people hang out, they lower their consciousness, and then there is no higher discussion. But imagine Lokasangra, when two people come together, Krishna Arjuna comes together, the entire scene changes. Like that in life also, just two people, two souls, that's a spiritual energy. They come together, husband, wife, two friends, anywhere, guru, shishya, something like that. This very aspect, even if two people come, more than two, more the merrier. We're not saying two is company, three is crowd. No, more and more people join, greater work can be established. But for that, this freedom should be there, the freedom of consciousness. Look at the freedom of Arjuna. Look at the freedom with which Arjuna was allowed to ask any question. I think this is something we should not ever curb, not for ourselves also. Forgetting our Swadharma is also trapping us, isn't it? Denying ourselves that freedom. So that we should not do that just because of some outer circumstance. And also watch your relationships. Some people say नहीं relations maintain करने पड़ेंगे तो इसलिए थोड़ा freedom निकालना पड़ता है. No, you are not. You're not. It's not a car that you are maintaining. Relationships are innate. They are something inner. If you are using some force of discipline only to ensure that relationship goes on, you are using rajasic efforts. The day you run out of force, that day it will cease to exist. Instead of that, understand that free union, what is called Mukta Sangha. Best example is our Krishna. Yat hechasi tatha kuru. Look at that heart of Krishna. He has given his army to the other side. He has become Sarathi. He has invested so much of his time, so much is at stake, but he is not forcing. No emotional blackmail, no emotional drama. Most of the households, we are all not reading Gita, we are watching TV series, and so only emotional dramas go on. Instead, if we read the Gita and we start following it, we will have what we can say higher discussions, higher consciousness. Parents, father, son, father, daughter, mother, son, mother, daughter. When are these relations going to become higher? Why not one kutumba becomes a divine kutumba? Protect each other, stand by each other. Forget all of these other fights which are taking place. That will be possible when we reach that. And for that, we'll have to practice. Practice is what is important. That's what Krishna is saying. Make the call. Today he has told it. I will take care after that. Some people wait sometimes. You don't have to wait also sometimes. It depends on their state of consciousness only. So with this, let us conclude. So today, one more day, I think I got. So thank you. Tomorrow we will conclude with the last part of this adhyay, and also what is the 19th adhyay. Hari Om. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramaya, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschid dukkha bhag bhavet. Hari Om Tat Sat. Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Jai Shri Krishna. Punarmilama. We'll see you tomorrow. If any queries are there, you are welcome. Or we'll conclude with a. Yeah, we'll conclude otherwise. Yeah. Yes, please.
Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Hari Om. Hari Om.
Hari
Namaskar.
Om, Hari Om, Hari Om.
sir.
Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Hari Om. Hari Om. Hari Om. Namaskar. Hari Om.